So we shall read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Adi-Lila chapter 4, entitled The Confidential Reasons for the Lord's Appearance. We'll do text 190 together, then we'll go to several verses thereafter, and then come to one purport by Srila Prabhupada. You can repeat this text 190. Gopika Darshane Krishnera Badhe Prapulata Sehi Madhurya Badheyara Nahika Samata Gopika Dashena Krishnera Badhe Prapulata Sehi Madhurya Badhe Yara Nahika Samata Gopika Darshane Krishnera Badhe Prapulata Sehi Madhurya Badhe Yara Nahika Samata Mataji. and the word for word. Gopika Darshane. In seeing the gopis. Krishnera of Lord Krishna. Bade increases. Prapulata, the cheerfulness. Say that. Madhurya, sweetness. Badhe, increases. Yara, of which. Nahika, there is not. Samata, equality. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. When Lord Krishna sees the gopis, his joy increases and his unparalleled sweetness increases also. Text 191. I'll just read the verses. There's no repetition required. Amara Darshane Krishna Paila Eta Sukha. Okay. Ehi Sukha Gopira Prapula Angamukha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The gopis think, quote, Krishna has obtained so much pleasure by seeing me, unquote. That thought increases the fullness and beauty of their faces and bodies. Text 192. Gopi soba deki Krishnera soba badeyata. Krishna soba deki gopira soba bade tata. The beauty of Lord Krishna increases at the sight of the beauty of the gopis. And the more the gopis see Lord Krishna's beauty, the more their beauty increases. Text 193. Ehi mata paraspara pade huda hudi. Paraspara bade keha mukha nahi mudi. In this way, a competition takes place between them, in which no one acknowledges defeat. Text 194. Kintu Krishnera Sukha Aya Gopi Rupa Gune. Tandra Sukhe Sukha Vridhi Aye Gopi Gane. Krishna, however, derives pleasure from the beauty and good qualities of the gopis. And when the gopis see his pleasure, the joy of the gopis increases. Text 195. Ata eva sehi sukha Krishna sukha pose. Ehi hetu gopi preme nahi kama dose. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. Therefore we find that the joy of the gopis nourishes the joy of Lord Krishna. For that reason the fault of lust is not present in their love. Purport. By looking at the beautiful gopis, Krishna becomes enlivened. And this enlivens the gopis, whose youthful faces and bodies blossom. This competition of increasing beauty between the gopis and Krishna, which is without limitations, is so delicate that sometimes mundane moralists mistake these dealings to be purely amorous. But these affairs are not at all mundane, because the gopis' intense desire to satisfy Krishna surcharges the entire scene with pure love of Godhead, with not a spot of sexual indulgence. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Ajnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada was giving a Srimad Bhagavatam class in one particular temple. I forget the location, as I heard it from two particular devotees. And while giving the class, Srila Prabhupada was not only speaking the class, but he was also aware of his surroundings simultaneously, and without missing a beat, even when he's speaking. So one of his female-bodied disciples, she usually has the tendency to come and sit right in the front. But this particular morning, she was a little late for the class. And when she entered the doorway, in material external terms, you could say she was stunningly beautiful in material external terms on the bodily conception of life. So when she entered the temple room, as usual, she wanted to sit in the front, so she made her way through the other ladies and came and sat in the front. But to come through is not like you come directly, there's a pathway for you. You have to say, excuse me, go in between the other devotees while they are sitting on the floor. So Srila Prabhupada, while speaking the Srimad Bhagavatam class, his head lifted up and immediately looked at her and continued to speak perfectly from Srimad Bhagavatam. But he was looking at her, then all the other devotees looked at him looking at somebody. And then Prabhupada followed her while he was speaking as she was walking through for a minute or so and then coming to sit in the front, and then he continued speaking. But the other devotees looked at Srila Prabhupada and they're looking at what Srila Prabhupada is looking or who he's looking at. So they looked at the Mataji and they looked at Prabhupada. They looked at Mataji and looked at Prabhupada. Then when she sat down, Srila Prabhupada paused in his discussion from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he told everyone that you see her for your sense gratification, but I see her for Krishna's sense gratification. Yeah. And Srila Prabhupada mentions this fact also in a purport. I forget the reference now, but it's in my notes somewhere. Srila Prabhupada said, in material life, we are more concerned and make arrangements for our own sense gratification. But in spiritual life, we make arrangements for Krishna's sense gratification. And Prabhupada added that that's the difference between lust and love. So these are highly elevated verses that we read from today. It is discussing, you could say in one sense, why Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada used to say that the consciousness of the gopis, headed up by Srimati Radharani, is actually a transcendental mystery. And in the previous purport, also in this particular chapter, he said it is very perplexing. The word perplexing, Srila Prabhupada himself describes it. It means that you don't want somebody to make you happy, because one is only concerned about giving happiness to the other person. But if you want to make somebody happy, and you in return feel happy, that is not pure. That is not pure. See? So, usually in the material world, people want to feel happy. And if somebody is not happy, then the devotee is sad that the person is not happy. So therefore Srila Prabhupada used to quote famously these few words from Sri Prahlad Maharaj, para dukkha dukhi. See? That the devotee suffers in the suffering of others because they are not happy. See? And when they become happy by being introduced to Krishna consciousness and the practice of Krishna consciousness, then the devotee tries to maintain the happiness in Krishna consciousness, even if it does not bring happiness to the devotee or the preacher themselves. So that's the meaning of para dukkha dukkhi. So although these verses are in keeping with the consciousness of Goloka Vrindavan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to bring that same consciousness of Goloka Vrindavan into the material world to give people a sort of at least some iota of understanding what it means to be in Goloka Vrindavan. So, therefore, Srila Prabhupada said in a very nice lecture on Gaur Purnima Day in Mayapur, March 16th, 1976, and I'll read his words. So Krishna taught everything for becoming Krishna conscious, but still we are so rascal we could not understand Krishna. Therefore Krishna came again. Quote, "These rascals fail to understand me, and now I shall teach how to become a devotee of Krishna by my personal behavior." And then Srila Prabhupada concludes, and that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one time a devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, rather it was the other way around. Srila Prabhupada was giving Gayatri mantras to devotees to be second initiated. And those days he was personally interviewing them in the early days, before, like to make them sort of, in one sense, type of qualified to receive the Gayatri mantras. So he called the first devotee in, the secretary called the first devotee in to be interviewed by Srila Prabhupada to get the Gayatri mantras at second initiation. So he asked the devotee a question, who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So the devotee replied, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of Krishna. Then Srila Prabhupada said, failed, go out. Like that. So the other devotees were waiting outside. They saw this devotee came out, but he was like a little bit glum, like, I failed the test. Just one question. Yeah. So the next devotee went in, but before he went in, he asked, what did Prabhupada ask? He said, no, you better go in. I can't tell you. Like that. So the next devotee came in, and Srila Prabhupada asked the same question. He said, who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And then this devotee replied that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He said, passed, tick. He said, now you can go out and send the other devotee in again. So the other devotee came back, and Srila Prabhupada said, I have a question. And he asked, who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So now this devotee thought like that. And this devotee said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself coming in the mood of the devotee to give Krishna prema. Prabhupada said, excellent. Like he changed it himself. Yeah. So why we are saying this is because in this particular lecture in Mayapur in 1976, we could see that the Bhagavad-gita couldn't really be understood by the people in Kali Yuga. So many things in the Manda Samanda Matayo, Manda Bhagi Upadata, they short-lived have short memory, and above all they are lazy and always disturbed. So then you could say Krishna himself has realized that we have to give some sense of practical Bhagavad-gita, like that. Although he is coming as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu internally in the mood of the gopis' love for Krishna, but at the same time, simultaneously, he has to attract the fallen, conditioned souls into that love. And that is why there is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now earlier on I mentioned that if one is in the consciousness that is free, I'm adding a little bit more now. If one is in the consciousness that is free from exploitation and abuse, and in that consciousness it gives happiness to others without expecting any happiness in return, and that is pure. That is pure. However, in these particular verses, there is a transcendental competition between Sri Krishna and the gopis, where the one, which is the group of gopis, wants to outdo the other, Krishna, and Krishna wants to outdo the gopis in terms of giving mutual bliss and ecstasy in devotional service to each other. So although the gopis are on the highest level of consciousness naturally to give Krishna pleasure, Krishna wants to reciprocate and give them pleasure in return. But the gopis do not want it. So then Krishna, Prabhupada says, uses a very strong word. So Krishna imposes it on them. Like that. Excuse me. Now, in the material world, when somebody imposes something on you, it's a little unfavorable. You know, why are you imposing on me? People say it like that. It's a little unfavorable. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You have a microphone here? Give it to this devotee. So chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Chant.
Hare Krishna.
No, just chant it.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So the word is not Ram, the word is Rama. Now do it again.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Yes, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada have us understand from the Kali Santarana Upanishad that there's 32 syllables, and the word Ram is pronounced as Ra, long A, and Ma, short A, not Ram, not R-A-A-M. That's an affectionate calling name from Mother Kaushalya and Maharaj Dasaratha for Lord Ramachandra. But in the Maha Mantra it's Rama. That okay? So we were discussing the word to impose. Yeah. So in the material world, when somebody imposes something on you, it's for their pleasure. In other words, they want to feel that I am imposing on you, that gives them pleasure. That is not very nice, and that is lust. Basically, it's lust. However, when Krishna imposes on the gopis to feel pleasure because they are giving Krishna pleasure, they also don't like it. They don't like it. So that dislike of feeling imposed by Krishna giving them pleasure increases their desire to give Krishna more pleasure. See? In other words, for the devotee, even from Krishna or even from other devotees, if you feel displeasure by the association, still it increases your desire to give them more pleasure. That's the difference. That is called love. See? But materially, if somebody imposes on you for their pleasure, you dislike them and you want to go away because it's unfavorable for you. That's on the material platform. So therefore the difference is basically simple. Lust means exploitation and abuse mutually. Love means even if somebody abuses me, so to speak, of imposing on me to feel pleasure, I increase my desire to give them more pleasure. And that's these actual verses that are here. And Prabhupada uses the word imposing. All right, I like to finish on time. So we have some time to take any comments, or if you have any questions, you can ask now. Anyone? This microphone to Vishnu Tattva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, in our conditioned stage.
No, say in my condition stage.
In my condition.
Don't dump everyone else.
Sorry, Maharaj. In my conditioned stage, I am like habituated to seek pleasure from others. Perform.
Yeah, just give me an example of that activity that you seek pleasure from with others. Give me an example. You're speaking too broad.
Yes, Maharaj.
Give me one example.
Like Maharaj, I wish to perform some activity and I think this is the way it should be done. So then I want others also cooperate or align with my...
But you're not giving me an example of the activity. I need the example to understand more.
Yes, Maharaj.
Because you may be correct in your desire according to the activity, which is not bringing pain and suffering to others, so that's all right. So I need the example of the activity.
Yes, sir. Maharaj, I am assisting Hemgiri Prabhuji in serving new bhaktas. I'm assisting Hemgiri Prabhuji in serving new bhaktas.
So if you are serving, that's all right.
Yes, Maharaj. So, but in that I have...
You are creating a problem that does not exist in your consciousness.
Yes.
What is the next question from somebody else?
Yes, sir. So then sometime I have go through...
I thought we'll take the microphone away from you.
Yes, sir.
You're doing okay.
In my readings of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, I see how Gauranga Mahaprabhu and his associates perform Sankirtan, chanting and dancing, and they were, experience ecstasy.
So then you have another question now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He doesn't want to give up the microphone.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead with this new question.
Same question, Maharaj. I am giving you example this.
You are in Chaitanya Lila already then.
The example, Maharaj, I am going to present.
Okay. I'm patient. Go ahead.
So they are so much in ecstasy by doing Sankirtan, and that is the way Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this Krishna Prema. when a devotee is free from false ego and dance in Sankirtan. So in my little understanding, I expect that our new bhaktas also come together, dance in Guru Puja, Sankirtan, like that. But I see that many of them, some of them, unable to do due to their health or whatever. So that I am imposing on them my understanding or whatever little understanding I have take. So I am seeking pleasure because this is my expectation. So then Maharaj, in our condition stage, like this one example, many other places also I am conditioned. My way is the highway.
Okay, I understood. Can I respond? You ready? Take the microphone away from him. All right. How long are you in Krishna consciousness? How many years? Okay, give him back the microphone.
18 years, Maharaj, now.
18 years.
18, 19 years.
Yes. Now, prior to 18 years in your life now, is there a difference?
Yes, Maharaj.
So don't harp too much on the conditioning. You use the word conditioning, conditioning, conditioning several times when you were speaking to me. The moment you put your consciousness in your own conditioning, that's not very positive. But if you look at prior to 18 years what you were and what you are now, there must be some sense of maintaining your Krishna consciousness. Yes or no? Say yes or no. In the microphone. Yes or no?
Yes, Maharaj.
Good. So that partially answers your question. That means you're doing good. Yeah. Now the other thing is that when you said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, when they chant the holy name in Harinam Sankirtan, they are in ecstasy. You said that?
Experiencing.
Yes or no?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, now you answer my question. Are you seeing them in ecstasy, or they themselves know that they are in ecstasy?
We see them in ecstasy.
Yes, you keep it that way. See? As soon as a devotee says that I feel ecstasy, that is called sahaja. We have to feel the ecstasy of others, not our own personal ecstasy. Our personal ecstasy is very confidential and it's guyatamam, it's not for show. It's not for advertisement, it's not for a reason, it's not for logic, it's not for debate, it's not for argument. See? As soon as you see the ecstasy of other devotees, including, not in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Lila, but in ISKCON Lila, which is part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila. As soon as you see that, how the other devotees are ecstatic, see? Then that gives you some sense of pleasure to serve them, although you are not looking forward to feeling that pleasure. This is a very refinement of your inquiry about that. We good so far? Okay. So now I'll make a statement. One of the four things that we normally say is like, books are the basis, preaching is the essence, utility is the principle. And now you tell me what's the fourth one?
Purity is the force.
Yes. Now we make a mistake. Personally I made that mistake for many years also. I made the mistake of feeling that purity is the force means that I am becoming pure. See? And that's the greatest mistake I made. In practically in the 43 or 44 years since I joined. But then when I reversed it and made it like this, that purity is the force means to have the force or potency to only see purity in others. Repeat.
Purity is the force, have the potency to see purity in others.
Yes, that's all.
Only see purity in others.
Yes. Is that okay? That's called ecstasy. When you see others are ecstatic. But the person who's feeling ecstatic doesn't know that that person is in ecstasy. If he knows, then it's a show. It's external. Have I responded to your queries okay, or something still remaining?
Fine, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you. Another comment or questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
If you're more comfortable in Hindi, then somebody can translate.
I ask English, I can speak something.
Oh, you're doing good.
Here
Yes,
we
improve.
see Krishna is attracted by the beauty of Gopi. But another hand we see Krishna is the Aptakam. He is the reservoir of beauty and happiness, but how he attracted? He attracts everyone. Krishna is all attractive, but he is also attracted by the beauty of Gopi. This is the, how this is
Okay.
possible.
That question is answered by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. I'll read it. I'll just repeat it. I'll read it. It's answered. Yeah, this is in text 191 and 192. I'm going to repeat. You can put it on the screen. This answers your question. I'm not sure how to explain this answer, but it answers your question. Okay? Text 191, the gopis think, quote, Krishna has obtained so much pleasure by seeing me. That thought increases the fullness and beauty of the faces and bodies. Now text 192. The beauty of Krishna increases at the sight of the beauty of the gopis. And the more the gopis see Lord Krishna's beauty, the more their beauty increases. And then finally in text 193, in this way a competition takes place between them in which no one acknowledges defeat. So, you have microphone? So I have a question for you like I asked him question. Is that okay? I have question for you. But if the question is not clear in English because he's more Hindi speaking, then Hemagiri can explain in Hindi. Can do that? Okay. Now, what is more powerful? Krishna or Krishna Prema? Yes?
Krishna Prema is more powerful than Krishna.
Now tell us why. He's good, he can answer his own question. Maharaj, go ahead.
Because Krishna Prem is a very tasty, you can taste more than Krishna Krishna personally, you can feel more happiness if you increases the love of God in our heart.
Yes.
By seeing Krishna, by physically is not more rasas. But if you increases the love of God in our heart, then you can feel more happiness.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you very much. Is your question answered by yourself, Maharaj?
Thank you.
Nice. Okay. I'll just explain a little bit more. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives a verse. Mrigamada Aiche Ganda, something like that. There's a verse. Who knows the verse? You give microphone. It's just skipping me now. Old age, memory.
Hare Krishna.
Mirga?
प्रेमेरा स्वभाव यहाँ प्रेमेरा संबंध से ही माने कृष्ण मोरा नहीं प्रेम गंध. Is that the sloka?
No, there's another verse. So, yeah, the word is an English word from from the Bengali by. It's called musk, and Mirgamada Ganda. So the the fragrance comes from musk. Yeah. And then jwala, haite, and then heat and light comes from fire. See? So, thank you. Nice. So this is text 97 of which verse? We don't know. Okay, let's get to the verse. Okay, same chapter, text 97. Okay, let me just get to the text 97, same chapter. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So here in text 97, okay, we'll do text 96 first because it reciprocates with the analogy that's given. Text 96. Radha Purna Shakti Krishna Purna Shakti Man Dohi Vastu Beda Nahi Shastra Paramana. Is there? Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Radha is the full power and Lord Krishna is the possessor of full power. The two are non-different as evidenced by the revealed scriptures. Now here's the analogy coming, text 97. Mirgamada ganda yaichi avicheda agni jwalate yaiche kabu nahi beda. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. They are indeed the same, just as musk and its scent are inseparable, or as fire and its heat are non-different. So what does this mean? It's a mysterious thing, but it actually makes common sense. You see, when fragrance comes from musk, and when heat comes from fire, the musk cannot experience its own fragrance that it emanates. And the fire cannot experience its own heat that it gives. Yes or no? Yeah. So similarly, Radha comes from Krishna. Although Radha comes from Krishna, Krishna cannot experience the consciousness of Srimati Radharani. just as fire cannot experience the consciousness of the heat that comes from fire. So this is the two perfect analogies given by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So therefore, although prema, love, comes from Krishna, which is called Krishna prema, but Krishna cannot experience love for himself. So therefore, Krishna prema is more powerful than Krishna. And I'll just conclude in this aspect. When Srila Prabhupada was registering the society in 1966, this is well known, but there's also a deeper understanding. Even the lawyer and some of the early disciples, they actually advised Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, don't name the society International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Let it be more broadly appealing to the world and make it International Society for God Consciousness. Like that. Then Srila Prabhupada said no. And he gave two reasons. The first reason, Prabhupada says, they should know who is God. So therefore, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And the word consciousness connects you to Krishna. So the word is actually one, you could say, one feeling or one type of consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So effectively speaking, the society is not named after Krishna. It's named after those who are conscious of Krishna. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It practically belongs to those who are conscious of Krishna, to bring us to Krishna. So consciousness of Krishna may come from Krishna, but more especially those who have the consciousness of Krishna can take you to Krishna. So therefore, effectively we could say that the society is actually named after Srimati Radharani, because consciousness of Krishna. Krishna, consciousness. So Krishna is not conscious of himself. And here in these verses, Krishna is more conscious of the devotional service of the gopis that give him pleasure. See? So therefore it's such a powerful society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And consciousness of Krishna means the devotees of the Lord, headed up by Srimati Radharani, and in the Panchatattva is headed up by Srivas Thakur. That's the verses given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrat is headed up by Srivas Thakur. So therefore it's most important that if one wants to really make progress in Krishna consciousness, one should actually serve the devotees. Not claiming I am a senior devotee and I should be served. Not claiming that I am guru and then my disciples should serve me. Because there should be a consciousness where we should accept service as a service. And that consciousness is more important than accepting service from a subordinate to a superior. It's not so easy to accept service as a service. So therefore the secret in the whole thing in relation to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Panchatattva and Srila Prabhupada is to serve Vaishnavas. And more important than serving Vaishnavas is to serve Vaishnavas without any discrimination. It's not that I'll serve some Vaishnava because I'm favorable to that Vaishnava and that Vaishnava is favorable to me. But you should serve somebody who you dislike, not telling them you don't like them, so that your dislike leaves you in relation to other devotees. Even if they still dislike you, that's fine. Still continue to serve them so that they'll begin to like you. It's not so easy, but that's the secret, is to serve Vaishnavas without any discrimination, especially within the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So that's the bell. It's time for breakfast prasad. Mahaprasade Govinde. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Gori Vaishnava Vranda ki, Shri Panchatattva ki, Shri Gopunima Mahamotsava ki, ISKCON Juhu Yatra ki, ISKCON Hare Krishna land ki, Natai Go Premanande Hari Hari.